Hey, what's up guys, MugenLord here, and today we're going to talk about Silent Hill 2 Remake, because apparently Bloober Team, the developer, is in fear that fans would not give them a try, and now they're at the mercy of the fans and begging them to say, hey, just give us a chance and we won't disappoint you. So before we even dive into this video, make sure to hit the subscribe button, the notification bell for more gaming content here on this channel. So we're going to dive right into it. For starters, last time we talked about this was the fact that Bloober Team had confirmed, and a lot of people, you guys were speculating in the comment sections that maybe this is just damage control, but Bloober Team was saying that Konami themselves wanted to radically change Silent Hill 2 Remake, and they were going back and forth with the developers about the changes that were going that they were handing down to them. And after, I guess you would say, a little bit of going back and forth, that they were able to maintain most of the core essence of what Silent Hill 2 is. But like I said before, we don't really know until the game comes out. But from what the trailers have shown so far, many people are in doubt of that. So we can go into this article from Bounding Into Comics. It stated that Silent Hill 2 Remake developer acknowledges fan fears, says, "We can't ask for anything more than give us a chance." It seemed as though that a lot of the controversy, and like I said, when it comes to these remakes, man, we in the era of remasters and remakes, and we've seen a lot of our remakes and a lot of our remasters being tampered with when it comes to censorship, when it comes to gameplay, visuals, and even down to where the developers don't even understand their own game that they made back in the day, and just do these radical changes that pretty much just defies what the characters and what the story and the world has established in the original. So it says, during a recent interview with Rolling Stone, the producer behind the upcoming Silent Hill 2 remake asked the horror franchise fans to give the remake a fair shake. Now here's the thing, I can't recall, and the thing is, when it comes to developers and the community itself, the fan base, the only time I would give a developer a chance is when they're not, how would I say, not arguing with the fans, like talking down to the fans, you know, calling them homophobic, calling them racist, or saying, hey, if you don't like it, then don't buy the game. But if they're doing everything in their power to like talk to the community, and they seem like they're passionate about what they're making as far as a game is concerned, or even when it comes to a remaster and a remake, if they seem passionate about it and they really believe in this product and stuff like that, and fans, there are still fans that's still on the wall when it comes to this, then I would say, hey, maybe give them a fair shake. But let's move on. Why are Silent Hill fans concerned? Between changes in gameplay and the previous confirmation by publisher Konami that the game is being developed for the modern audience, many Silent Hill fans fearing that the remake may veer too far from the original, and doing so delivering a safe action adventure game rather than a genuine horror experience. To this end, during this recent conversation with Rolling Stone, the developer asked those concerns to wait until the game releases to deliver their final verdict on Bloober Team's work. So that's what it apparently seems like, that these guys really want gamers and want fans to give it a shake. I think, to me, it sounds like that Bloober Team does somewhat have some invested interest in this, that they really want to produce a good product. But like I said before, these trailers are like the telltales showing the signs that, hey, this is for a modern audience. And as I always tell gamers before, I'm gonna keep saying it again, just wait and see how everything plays out before you just dive into it and put your money out and be disappointed. I would say wait for reviews. I would say wait for what gameplay comes up from like streams and what other gamers are saying, but not enough to spoil, but enough to give you some context of what's being presented in the game. So I quote, "I am dreaming that gamers will trust us, but I realize that trust is earned through actions." Yes, definitely actions from the developers themselves, not through words, said the producer. "That's why we have a policy of not commenting on the specifics of the game and raising hope. We want to show our ambition through our work, so we can't ask for anything more than give us a chance." And that's what I would say about them. Unlike a lot of developers who go back and forth with gamers, arguing with them, giving them these titles of toxic community and stuff like that. And I believe that when it comes to games, let the games speak for themselves. And I believe the developers, and like I said, I'm not really invested in Silent Hill 2 itself, but from the information that I've been reading and everything, it appears that to me that these developers really want their games to speak for itself. And a lot of developers need to allow the game to speak for itself rather than going back and forth against the community on criticism. So, additionally, the developer noted that while fan feedback was invaluable in refining our project before its release, the dev team was also taking care to not focus on every single criticism in order to focus on their creative work with peace of mind. And I look, you can disagree with me, but I respect this. Like, if a developer is sitting there every 5 minutes going on Twitter, going on social media, and looking at, and also going on YouTube, looking at YouTube videos like mine, and looking at YouTube videos like other people within, said community, then they'll never get nothing done. And then they will put more stress on the developers, and when it comes to the development process and stuff. And I think this is old school to me. I truly believe this is old school development right here. Just ignore and create the game that they want to create. Yes, I know fans are going to be upset about this and about some of the changes and stuff like that, but I like their thinking. They got a game, they created the game, and they say, hey, we got to focus on this. And they truly believe that they have something here. Now, whether or not they stick the landing, that'll remain to be seen. But I like their thinking here that, hey, we're not going to sit here and focus too heavily on the criticism. We already far in development. It's not much change, not that many changes that we can do now. We're here, and let's just hope for the best. Just hope for the game to be able to wow the gamers or win the gamers over. And I respect that. So, closing out his thoughts with his hope that players will understand Blooper Team's rationale behind their changes once they experience the game. The producer ultimately affirmed, "We tried to make all possible fans happy, but at the same time be faithful to ourselves," he said. "I really hope that when people play for the first time, they will understand that the choices we made were the best possible." So what we know of the remake, the specifics of what is changing in the remake remain unclear, but Blooper Team has been adamant that the core story will still stay true to the original. And this is the thing, a lot of people do not. And like I said, we always see is gameplay right now. We don't really see a lot of cutscenes and emphasis on some of the story and to know what was intact, what was not intact. So a lot of gamers are going to be going into this blind. Now, the thing is, some gamers will disagree with this, but at the same time, it reminds me of how games were back in the day, where you had little knowledge of what the game entails, what to expect. You just had to buy the game and dive in there and get the experience as you play. And that's what seems like what's going on here, that they didn't want to open their mouth and say too much about the remake. They just wanted the game to speak for itself. So it says that Anna, the chief marketing officer, emphasized this point in January 2023, telling video game news outlets Dread XP, "We're focusing on bringing the distinct visceral atmosphere back in the modernized," and there we go, that modernized, that's what gets people scared. Yeah, and that's what developers also have to understand. When you use the word modernized and when you use the word modern audience, that really tips off a red flag to a lot of gamers, a lot of gamers within said community, because we understand what that means. And who knows, that could totally just burst everybody's bubble and shock everyone, if they decide to do the opposite of what they mean by modernize and actually give us a good game. We just want to wait and see once the game comes out. So it says longtime fans shouldn't worry about us missing the point while we're livening up the title. Konami has scheduled the release just in time for Halloween. It will launch October 8th. 2024 for PlayStation 5 and PC. And it says Silent Hill's legacy. Silent Hill's not just any game, and they're right, it's not just any game. It's one of those survival horrors that shaped the genre. The original psychological depths and eerie atmosphere are etched in the minds of fans. This sets a high bar as fans have grown tired of deathless remakes, and they're right about that. This game definitely sets a high bar, just like how Final Fantasy VII, you know, those, you know, fans like myself who enjoy Final Fantasy VII, those remaking the title, and that's why I believe a lot of these developers, you know, were really like, that's why these developers took so much time to really think about, or was really skeptical of or not to like go in and remake Final Fantasy VII, because of the legacy status and the bar that it has set for the genre, especially here in the West and everything. And the same thing here. Silent Hills 2 is like equivalent to Final Fantasy VII, but for Konami. And they really have to really nail this in, because if they blow this, Konami, I don't know if Konami is going to be able to recover from any of this. So, what are my thoughts on this entire situation when it comes to Silent Hill 2 remake and Bloober Team really wanting fans to give them a chance? And I will say this. Like I said before, I'm not heavily invested in Silent Hill 2. I own the original game, still have it on my PS2, never finished it because it's totally different from Resident Evil. It's more psychological than, you know, the zombie horror that Resident Evil is. But I understand that when it comes to fans and their beloved series and their beloved franchises, they want the game to be as faithful as possible. And what I can say about Bloober Team is that Bloober Team is heavily invested in wanting to show fans that, hey, yes, you've seen the trailers, you've seen some of the modernness to it, but we promise you guys that we kept this, the core essence of the game and what it really means, you know, to be Silent Hill 2. Just give us a chance. And the fact is that I respect the fact is that the developers are not trying to allow the criticism to get the best of them and to throw them off their game when it comes to the development process, and just say, hey, this is the vision that we have, let's just put it out here and just hope for the best. And we hope that fans at least just give it a chance before they just write it off. And I have a lot of respect for them. And the thing is that seeing a lot of what was put out there for Silent Hill 2 remake, we don't even have any real like hard, you know, details as far as like this, like story, if there is like total story changes. And we've only been getting glimpses of the combat because of how the trailers are put together and everything. They have really been tight, like zipped when it comes to all that, is because they want the game to speak for itself, rather than coming out there saying, hey, this is the game that we have, and then going back and forth arguing with the fan base. So I can give them props for that. All I can say to you guys who are big fans is just wait and see. If you don't want to go out and purchase the game, just wait and see what other gamers say about it, see what other fans say about it, because the game will definitely be streamed by gamers. So you'll be able to find out for yourself when it comes to this. I wouldn't say reviews or whatever like that from these outlets like IGN and everything like that. We know how these journalists are. But I would say just wait for what other gamers say and get a healthy dose. Get something from a hardcore fan who's hardcore and see what their opinions are. Then get someone who has a little bit of knowledge of Silent Hill, and then get a casual, a person who's just diving into it for the first time, and get all three of those perspectives to be able to get an idea of how well Bloober Team handled Silent Hill 2 remake. So that pretty much wraps up this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comment sections below. Are you willing to give Bloober Team a chance when it comes to Silent Hill 2 remake, or do you think that they screwed it up, that you're not going to give them your money when it comes to this remake, that this has modern audience, wokeness, and everything written all over it, so you're not going to give it a chance? So definitely let me know. If you liked the video, hit the like button, subscribe button for more gaming content here on this channel. This is MugenLord signing off. I'll see you Game Fiends later. Peace out.